Hey friends! Welcome to Koalaful. Today we are going to read Ant and His Ant Friends. Let's get to it.
Anthony loved ants. He loved ants so much that he insisted that everyone call him by his nickname, Ant. Ant lived, breathed, and dreamt ants. He could tell you any number of interesting stories about the greater spotted African military ant. Did you know that they have different stripes on their front legs to show their rank within the colony? He was absolutely fascinated with the mermaid ants and their ability to transform their back legs into a fish tail to be able to travel across bodies of water. But ants' favorite type of ant had always been the common or garden stickleback purple ant, so called because they looked nothing like fish and were purple. The scientist who discovered them had a strong sense of sarcasm. Ant's room was full of ant paraphernalia. He had posters of ants, giant cardboard cutouts of ants, books, DVDs, and computer games of ants, in short, anything and everything relating to ants except an ant farm. His mother wouldn't let him keep ants inside the house. Well, anything and everything relating to ants except an ant farm and a giant ant mask used in strange mysterious rituals by an obscure Peruvian tribe. So you can imagine Ant's excitement when his Great Uncle Jerome came to visit one day, bringing with him this exact mask. "Now you need to take great care with this," Great Uncle Jerome warned him, as he passed the mask to his thrilled great-nephew. "The mask is reputed to have strange and mysterious powers, although I have to say that when I put it on, nothing odd happened. I was quite disappointed, to be honest, but I thought that a young man like you with a nice, healthy interest in ants would appreciate it." Appreciate it? Ant certainly did, and he reverently hung the mask up over his bed, moving his favorite poster of the queen jellied eel ant to clear space for it. That night, after his mother had switched off his bedroom light, Ant examined the mask in the moonlight. The silvery glow highlighting it bounced off the shiny exterior, making the mask look almost alive. Ant could almost imagine the mask coming to life and talking to him. On an impulse, he took the mask off the wall and put it over his head. Instantly, the world looked different. It was almost as if he were an ant, seeing things from the perspective of a small, hive-minded insect. Ant had the almost uncontrollable urge to get out of bed and go gather food. He was wasting good working time sitting around in bed. Swiftly, Ant removed the mask and the feeling went away. He hung it back up on the wall and fell asleep as the mask looked on. Ant's dreams were haunted by ants of all shapes, sizes, and colors. He could hear the ants in his garden calling to him to come join them, and when he did, he felt more at home than he ever had in his life. When he woke up the next morning, Ant looked up at the mask pensively. On a whim, he put it on again. Once more, everything looked different, and he wanted to go out and do something, anything, to help his colony. He clattered down the stairs to where his mother was bustling around the kitchen preparing breakfast. Ant was caught up short when he saw her. She had the head of an ant. Quickly, Ant pulled the mask off and his mother returned to her usual, human self. Putting the mask back on, she was transformed into an ant. This must have been what his great uncle warned him about. "Anything wrong, Ant?" asked his father from behind the morning newspaper. Ant looked over at him and wasn't surprised to see that he was an ant as well. "Nothing." Rather than being frightened, Ant thought that living in a family of insects was the coolest thing that ever happened to him. What was even better was that he seemed to be related to a group of stickleback purple ants, something he'd always dreamed of. Ant looked at the table and had a sudden craving for sugar. He poured himself a small cup of tea and then filled it to saturation with sugar before gulping the sickly sweet mix down. Delicious. His appetite sated for the moment, Ant decided to go outside. He couldn't be sitting around all day, there was work to be done. "Bye, Mom, bye, Dad," he called as he ran through the door, eager to get out there and hunt for food. Everything all right with Aunt? Asked Great Uncle Jerome, coming into the kitchen just in time to see Aunt race out of the door. It looks like everything's just fine now, thanks to you, smiled Aunt's mother. You were right, that mask was just what Aunt needed to get all that nonsense out of his head. He's far too old to be playing make-believe humans. That kid always had his head in the clouds, he was such a dreamer. Now he's gone off to be with all the other workers, a happy little ant once more. Glad to hear it. Great Uncle Jerome sat down at the dining table, and the family of Stickleback Purple Ants sat down to a scrummy honey breakfast before going out to join Aunt, joyfully hard at work. The end.